need to be an alteration to the plan to address that issue.
But the question though, I mean, if these are gonna be natural areas for walking, is this areas where we're gonna want, is this an area where it's going to be designed for cyclists well? Because you know that cyclists speed, go quickly, and you have a lot of people walking in natural areas. So is there going to be a design to incorporate both, or was the plan here?
This is a destination more than it is a through way.
I think the site, on the plan for Frank Kenny, there's a multi-use pathway along the.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so not.
Not in the park.
That's right.
Okay.
But again, we would still need to look at how to get people, because you have different directions coming. You don't
Yeah.
have a single entry point, especially on something this long
Right.
property. So that would need to be considered, but it's only when we get to that we look at it. It's, I would never build a path now that dead ends waiting for Frank Kenny to come along. I wait, once Frank Kenny comes along, we say, okay, well, included with your Frank Kenny, you also need to provide access to the destination. And we've done that all along.
So are these pathways going to be paved, or are they going to be gravel, paved gravel, or like hard?
We will have a combination, simply because, for instance, the natural area paths would never be paved. That makes no sense. But we would come in with a surface that's sufficiently hard that you can still, you wouldn't be sinking like beach sand we could never use.
If
for
that's
instance.
mulch or something like that, like you would.
Mulch or a combination. The last one I used
That's
was
more
actually,
natural for the area, you want to make it more natural.
yeah, the last combination I used was actually, it was quite interesting. It was stone dust mixed with sand mixed with topsoil. And the reason for that was the stone dust gave stability so that you could actually put a wheel over it. But the sand and topsoil gave it just a little bit of cushion, so especially if you're doing a jogging circuit, it's less painful on the joints. So we have various tools we can use, and it all, there's accessibility requirements and we have to meet them, but there's ways we can get and meet them and make it still more appropriate for the environment. I don't tend to use mulch as much anymore.
No, just I was thinking more of the natural.
Yeah, you
look
want that
of
natural
the
feel.
pathway, like,
Exactly.
Walking through Gatmore Park, I think.
Yeah.
It's not Gatmore Park, but it would be.
No, but you still want that natural feel.
But the thing is.
Asphalt is not that.
Well, I know the thing is in the wintertime, I mean, using it as for cross-country skiing
Mhm.
or snowshoeing or whatever, all those pathways would make a lot of sense in the winter.
Yeah.
So it become a more, again, an all-season usage facility as
Yes.
against just a spring, summer, winter.
And that's always my preference, the more we
Yeah.
can.
I
We're
think
still
so.
about a
That
healthy,
makes a lot
active
of sense,
city,
yeah.
and 4 seasons you need to be active.
Because this road, this park ends somewhere near Innis?
It's going to come out at Innis, yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty close.
So-
pretty close to it. yeah.
Pretty close, yeah.
So in other words, you could have access from there into it as well, coming down
Oh,
the road.
and yeah, so this is a link in a chain.
Yeah, so it's like a circular,
That's right.
same for the cyclists, they could ride around Innis and they come back down and make it more useful.
And if we do our seating areas and benches and bike racks thing here, this is also where you stop for that rest stop.
Yeah.
This is, you don't like doing that at the side of the road. You like doing it in a peaceful location, and there's also social opportunity.
And this connects through to the community park as well, and then onto the pathway system that goes
Yeah, that's
to
right.
Rock Creek, so it is very connected.
Yeah,
So,
as I said, I noticed a big change in traffic flow from pedestrians as soon as that trim road. Like I'm amazed the amount of pedestrian walking, the dogs. It's only a short section.
Yeah,
It connected up to the pathways that take you down.
but the second you feel safe taking that walk or crossing the street, you encourage a whole hell of a lot.
Can we just come back to the issue of interconnectivity?
Mhm.
So just opposite that, the issue of interconnectivity, there is land that's owned by the city that's not developed in the corner of Brian Coburn Boulevard and Innis. It's currently vacant. And then beyond that is Francois Giselle Malone High School. Could you perhaps show what the connectivity would likely be to connect with Millennium Sports Park? Because that is a natural connection that we'd like to see happen.
Okay.
And it would be really good to have you at the broad level, high level, some concept plans about land ownership and how the city sees that connectivity happening in the future.
What I like it, and what I might do is I might bring in VVG's group, their transportation planning, because when it goes beyond the park border, when it goes into how you get through neighborhoods or beyond neighborhoods, it's transportation planning, and we've worked hand in hand on several projects now.
So this would be like pathways,
Yes.
interconnectivity pathways.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
My most recent example is we put a pathway through what's called St. Paul's Park. It's in an urban area, but it was an excellent, safe shortcut for people to get through a community instead of using big arterial roads.
And the other thing, Kevin, is I think from a public safety perspective, you would have a lot of parents who have kids going to Giselle alone, really happy that there's that connectivity.
Safe route to school. Yeah, and then you don't feel like you have to drive your kid to school. Yeah, that's actually through all our neighborhoods. You can
Do you
try to-
guys go out to the soccer field, or are you guys thinking about lighting?
No,
Good.
no.
Keep it natural?
Yes,
All
so,
natural, yeah.
one thing I am considering is including in the infrastructure project, it's not in their scope of work, but if they're gonna be digging up, I might put conduits in for future power, but that's only if I can afford to do lights at the tennis court. Conduit is cheap.
Yep.
It's a lot cheaper than
Well,
digging up
if you're
and putting it back in after they've left the job. So I might be spending some of our budget on just preparing for future as well.
So just the, what is
No, just a question, where you said in one of them, where you're gonna have picnic areas and.
Yeah.
Is there a, in your plan, like a gazebo?
Yeah.
Where you could have music and people bring in their lawn chairs
Well-
to listen to the music that you might have? in
When
the
you say gazebo, you're now saying band shell, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
The gazebo is just a 4-post or 5-post.
No, but that's just a covering.
Like Karen and Ruth
Yeah.
and stuff like
It could
that.
be a nice gathering spot for the community.
I know.
The problem with music
Lot of
is
cane.
you do have to have that hydro connection or
Yeah.
bring a generator and then go with music. So.
Yeah, so
it's
we're not
something-
100%
we have a bunch
convinced
of
on power
options.
yet.
Okay.
We do have.
Acoustic guitar doesn't require any power.
That in the other part. There is the one little shelter, it's kind of a performance shelter, and there is a hydro supply right to that shelter. So you could have that kind of activity there, just there's a few minutes away from the other part.
So we're looking at using that existing shelter at Cardinal Creek Park for a possible movie night.
Oh, fun.
Because it's all wired up and everything, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So that was the intention.
Have you ever seen the inflatable screens?
And sure, you could have, so for example, you could gather there to do a nature walk, or you could, I don't know, gather there to, you know, have some kind of nighttime nature walk. Something like that, something more natural, would be the purpose of those gazebos, and to provide that the one that you see here, and there on that plan, that's in a really good viewpoint spot. So you can sit there quietly and
It's an awesome lookout.
look over the
Yeah.
whole valley.
And peaceful.
So that's really quite nice.
On the other side of the, is it considered a creek
Yeah.
all along? Is that all private property?
Conservation land.
Conservation, I believe. It's not, I don't believe it's what I would call city park.
So,
So there's
because
like
I was just thinking,
There's like about, I think it's 66 feet or whatever it is, 80, anyways, the top of bank.
Yeah.
There's a certain setback to the
Okay.
top of bank, so that's for the conservation area. And then beyond that, well, depending on where it is, there is some privately owned land.
okay, because I was just thinking, it'd be nice if there was like a couple of little bridges and just have a path on the other side. So
We
it's
don't
just
do
like,
bridges all that well.
then it would be just,
The whole thing on one bridge. You have no park, just.
We've already did that in Gladrill Park. We spent $60,000 on a bridge. We had a huge community debate about that, and didn't go well.
Just to give you an idea of scale, you have to cross top of bank to top of bank, and that would be a very significant cost.
could take the bridge that they close at the other end and bring it out.
You grab some hydro poles and drop them over and slap some plywood on them too.
What are you expecting now?
So-
Just one more comment.
Okay, sorry.
So this is the elephant in the room, hydro lines, cancer, and location of, so one of the reasons I like this plan here where the dog park is, and I think many people, we've had a lot of discussions with different experts, is that the dog park is going to be, part of it will be under the hydro lines, but this one here is not exactly under the hydro lines, just a portion of it. Kids' play area is far away from the hydro lines. So people feel a lot more comfortable with that. The only thing that's missing, what people have asked about, and there is some additional money, and that's another issue we need to talk about $300,000. So what I'd like to, what people have asked for is they've asked for the dog park, which is great. They've asked for the recreational natural area, which you've incorporated, which is fantastic. They've asked for a full soccer field or close to the biggest soccer field you can get, which is fantastic. And the third thing they've asked for is a tennis court. And, you know, and we know that due to what the location of where electricity is, and to keep the cost down, a tennis court would have to be located close to the hydro wire location where either the
Right here.
The tennis
yeah,
court is
yeah,
Right there.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that would be a good location for it, because if you had it way down at the far end, it would cost too much to build it. So probably, depending on what the outcome of your soil surveys are,